grade 11s, it's time for us to revise number patterns, sequences and series by looking at some questions. So we've already gone over, if you've watched the revision of this, you've already gone over how to work out the general term for linear sequences, and we already know how to work out the general term for quadratic sequences. So we need to remember both of those as we start looking at the questions today. All right, let's have a look at question 1. So here we have given three terms, 16x and 46. We are asked to determine the value of x if the pattern is linear. So in this case, it's important for them to tell us that the pattern is linear, otherwise we will not know which knowledge we need to draw on or what knowledge we need to draw on and which sequence we need to use in order to work out the value of x. If the pattern is linear, importantly what that means is that there's a common first difference between the terms. All right. Also just a reminder that a will give us the value of term 1, and in this linear sequence we know that we will have d, which is a common difference. N obviously gives you the position of the term in the sequence. Now, because the pattern is linear, so if I had any linear pattern, so for example, let's say we had the numbers, let's take something easy, 20, 24, and 28. To find out what this is, if I didn't know, well, I'll say 28 minus 24, that difference should be the same as 24 minus 20. 28 minus 4 is 4, 24 minus 20 is 4. So if I didn't know, if this 24 wasn't given, I could easily work out what it was either by subtracting 4 from 28 or adding 4 to 20. So we apply that same concept to this question. All right, so I'm going to say the common difference, which is 46 minus x, will be constant, so therefore x minus 16 is equal to 46 minus x. In other words, term 3 minus term 2 is equal to term 2 minus term 1. And obviously the reason that we can do that is because we were told that this number pattern is linear. Okay, now we need to solve for x. So we say, let's take the x's to the left-hand side, the numbers to the right-hand side. So minus x will give me minus 2x. Minus 16 plus 40x will be, plus 46 will be 30. All right, so therefore we have x is equal to 30 divided by negative 2, which is negative 15. And let's just double check here that we haven't made any careless mistakes. 46 minus x, so we take the x over, we get minus 2x. Minus 16, and this should be minus 46. Careless mistake, and hopefully you are switched on and you spotted that one. So we end up with minus 16 minus 46. Let's just double check what that is quickly. So minus 16 minus 46 is negative 62. So therefore, to find x, we divide both sides by negative 2, and we get that x is equal to 31. Okay, so let's see if this makes sense now. So x is equal to 31, so I've got 16, 31, and 46. All right, so what is 46 minus 31? Well, that's going to give me, let's have a look, 6 minus 1 is 5, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So the difference there is 15. And then if we look at what is 31 minus 16, we also get the difference there is 15. So there's a common difference of 15, so it makes sense that x is 31. Okay, remember, if you can do these quick checks for yourself in a test, it can sometimes help you to spot careless mistakes like with the signs. All right, let's have a look at question 2. We are given the general term in this case. We've got that Tn is equal to 3n squared, and we need to find term 11. So we need to find the value of the term in position 11. That's what this means, all right? So in other words, we know what n is. So all I'm going to do, because I've got the general term, I'm simply going to substitute 11 in place of n. And I'll get 3 times 11 squared. So it's 3 times 121. And what does that give me? 363. All right, so what's important here, guys, and really what we need to stress is that you need to understand what's the difference between finding the term value and finding the position of the term. So here we had to substitute n in place of in Tn to find out what the value of term 11 was. But say they asked you to work out what term was in, or what position was term 363 in. So they want you to work out n. In that case, what you would do is you would substitute Tn, so you've got the term value, and then you will solve for n. So say, for example, in this question, we were told, okay, Tn is equal to, let's just see what could work nice and easy here. And I'm just making this up, so let's just say 9 squared. Let's say Tn is equal to 27. So if Tn is equal to 27 and we asked to find out what n is, then what we would do is we'd simply substitute Tn as equal to 27, and we are solving for n. So we want to find out what position is this value, this 27. So dividing both sides by 3, I'd get 9 is equal to n squared, and therefore n is equal to plus or minus 3. But remember, because we are dealing with a position with a value, n is equal to 3 only. Okay, we do not accept negative values of n. So therefore, term 3 has a value of 27. All right. Hopefully you understand that. That's a very important difference that you need to understand in your head. What is n and what is Tn? N is the position of the term. Okay. All right, let's have a look at question 3. So here again, we're given the general term, but now it's working backwards. They're saying find for which value of n does Tn equal 85. So another way to state this question is, what position is the term with the value of 85? Okay, so what position is this sitting in? So we've got Tn is equal to n squared plus 4, but Tn is equal to 85 as well. So therefore, n squared plus 4 is equal to 85. So n squared is equal to 85 minus 4, which is equal to 1. That means n is equal to the square root of 81, which is plus or minus 9. But we only have to consider the positive value because n cannot be negative. So therefore, n is equal to 9. So in other words, the term with the value of 85 sits in position 9. So term 9 is equal to 85. All right. So we could obviously turn this around and we could give you the n value. So we could give you the position and we could ask you the value of the term like we did in question 2 in the previous example. All right. Okay, guys, I think at this stage, now that we've done these 3 questions, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we continue with some questions on sequences and series and number patterns.